this is for our vacation video for the 1700 videos and photos that I narrowed down to around 800. So it's probably more for us and our family than anybody else. But if you're out there watching, thanks for stopping by and hope you like the pictures. So, Jim, my travel agent and tour guide, he set up our trip in May of 2026 to go out west. And um, so we ended up driving 5,665 miles and took my new Honda Odyssey van that I had purchased. I only had like 560 miles on it when we left, something like that. But it turned out that was a great vehicle for us because we had all kinds of space. We took out all the seats and everything, and we were able to have a lot of cargo space for everything that we needed. So that worked out really good. We took pictures with our cell phones. So all the pictures and videos are just with cell phones. I didn't carry any of my fancy cameras with me. A lot of shots are out the window, so you're going to see glares and a lot of bugs on the windshield. We'll talk about that in a minute. Um, so the quality of some of the pictures is not great, but a picture is a record, so whether it looks great or not, I kind of threw one in there. And we're going to have duplicates. Jim took a lot of the same things that I took, so there's parts of the video where I'm going to split those up, especially when we're like in Yellowstone where we both took a lot of photos. It was too hard to kind of intermingle those together in editing. So I think with that, I guess we can talk about what our goal was with this trip. And so this was kind of a bucket list. For me, the biggest things that I wanted to see was Las Vegas and Yellowstone. And for you?
Well, I just wanted to go out there, and Yellowstone was probably the biggest thing I was wanting to see.
Yeah, because neither one of us had been there. So I also like seeing the Petrified Forest, and I did want to see Mount Rushmore, and I liked being able to drive through states that we hadn't driven through before. And I want to say one of the surprising things was New Mexico. I thought it would be a really pretty state, and it was a lot of just desert and tumbleweeds and things like that. So I was kind of surprised with that. We also ran into weather, a lot of wind out there. It was just crazy. And we had a wildfire when we got to Amarillo, Texas. There was a wildfire going on, and there's a little bit of video and picture about that too. And I really thought they were going to knock on the hotel door and tell us we had to get out that night. It was a little scary. That was a little scary. But otherwise, we had great weather. We really got lucky and kind of beat, bad weather was coming like right behind us and that kind of thing. So it worked out really well, especially for May in Yellowstone, even in June. And actually, a week after we left Yellowstone, they had hail and sleet and snow and all that stuff where it was just beautiful the days that we were there. Anything more about the weather that you want to talk about?
No, we just really lucked out, except for the wind. The temperatures were great.
Yeah, one of the stories is I was telling Jim as I was driving into Flagstaff, Arizona for the night that I could hardly hold on to the van. I could hardly keep it under control. And when we got out there, um, it was about 63, 64 degrees. And when we got out, we both could hardly stand. The wind was so bad, and I had to put my winter coat on, and that
Well,
was something else.
well, we went from 105 degrees part of the trip to snow
Yeah,
uh, part of the trip, so
right.
it was a big change.
Yeah, we did have a big change. Yeah, in Oklahoma, we had stopped at a Route 66 museum, and it was 105 there. Just took my breath away. So yeah, it was took me probably about 15 minutes back in the van in the air conditioning to feel like I was breathing right again, that kind of thing. Okay, so and I want to say Route 66 was kind of one of the surprising things. I didn't realize, didn't even think about that we would be traveling along Route 66 most of the way. So, but we didn't get off and see a whole lot of it. You know, we had a mission. We were had certain places we had to be every day and things we were doing. So, but that was kind of a surprise.
Well, Route 66 is broken up so much now that
Yeah,
you can't travel on the whole thing. You just hit little sections of it. So
right.
when we saw a road sign for some sightseeing there, we we got off and we saw quite a bit.
Yeah, we did. And let's see, I wanted to talk about some of the parks that we had revisited. Back in the 90s, I had friends that lived in Arizona. And so I spent a lot of vacations out there where we would go and hike some of the big parks. And so the Grand Canyon, Zion, and Bryce were parks that I revisited, and they were so different. Of course, you know, that's a long time ago, but just so many more tourists back then. It was like there was hardly anybody there except for people who wanted to hike. You know, hardly anybody was there. So that was kind of different for me. And of course, they had um, a lot more roads built, you know, a lot more overlooks and things like that that were built, which actually was nice. You know, being where I'm at now and not a hiker anymore, it was kind of nice that there was a lot that we could see from the road. So, you had been to the Grand Canyon, and you had been to anywhere else that we went to?
Well, we went to the Grand Canyon, but it was nothing like it was when you and I went out there.
Yeah.
We drove right up to the edge, if I remember right, and looked over, but it was 100 and something degrees when I took the kids out there.
Yeah.
It was too hot to get out and walk around. We got out and looked over the side and ran back to the air conditioning, and it was,
Yeah.
you know,
Just to say you were there.
kids didn't want to walk around when they were little. It was too hot.
Yeah. I would say with this trip, my favorite places, surprising places, were the Petrified Forest, because I had never been there before. And we spent a lot of time there, and it was a great day. Besides the wind, the weather was really good, and it was just really interesting to see. And I like that, and of course, Mount Rushmore was someplace I always wanted to go, but seeing it in person, it was very impressive, and that was probably one of the nicest places that we went. We watched the video, and excuse me, and there was, you know, nice facilities there and that kind of thing, and we're able to talk to a few people, you know, other visitors and stuff like that. So that was really cool to see. So, what were some surprises for you?
Oh, I don't know. Just we hit everything at perfect hours of the day. We didn't get in the big lines. Get there early, and by the time we were done sightseeing, we were leaving, and all of a sudden the lines got, you know, quarter mile long to get in places and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Sure.
so we really lucked out by going early to all the sightseeing places.
And Yellowstone, of course, that was one of our bucket list things. That one of the main reasons that we took this trip and drove all the way out there. And we timed it right at Old Faithful. I think we only had about maybe a half an hour to sit and wait on it, and so that did disappoint. But it's just amazing the different things that you will see just within that park. It's well worth a trip. Of course, we saw a lot of bison, tons of bison. We saw some elk. I saw a river otter just real quickly while we were driving by. I saw it out in some water, swimming around. We missed a bear by like 5 minutes. So we kind of sat and waited for it for a while. We ate a snack and stuff like that, but it didn't show back up. So anyway, and yeah, Yellowstone was really neat. There's just so much different terrain, different things to see. That's some place I would definitely go back, and the Grand Tetons. What
Yeah.
about you?
The Tetons and Yellowstone, the mountains were unbelievable.
Yeah.
The white caps, the pointed granite tops with snow on them, and it was green and it was nice and warm down where we were at. So I mean, we were just right there. I mean, the temperature difference in snow is just the snow was beautiful.
Yeah. And probably Devil's Tower was kind of surprising too. We had, like I said,
No aliens.
Yeah, no aliens. We didn't see any. It was so hot there, and there was no air moving. I mean, I can see why they call it Devil's Tower. It was cool, driving up to it, and we got a lot of pictures of it and that kind of thing. But when you're there in the area, it's surrounded by trees and that kind of thing, and there was just no air moving there. You definitely needed a hat, and you definitely needed water to walk around there. It was hot, it was dry, and we really didn't stay there that long. But it was really neat to see. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, and I did want to mention that we did see Jim's brother and sister-in-law. They have a farm out in Kansas, so that was our first stop making it there. So it was really fun to spend some time with them. It always is. This was my second or third trip. I think it's my third trip out to the farm. So that was fun to see them. And I'm trying to think of any other highlights. Can you think of anything?
No, just
you want to share? No.
no. We didn't drive a lot every day. I mean, we were at the motels a lot of days, 2-3 o'clock, and so we got plenty of rest time. And we'd get up early and drive, and tried to drive 5-6 hours a day at the most, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Actually, that worked out really good. We had to find some car washes, different places, because the bugs were just crazy. Jim had to, he bought some windshield wiper fluid, and he was out there wiping the windshield all the time, especially for me, because I don't know, the way my eyes work, I just can't see right through all that stuff. I have to have a clean windshield. I've always been that way. So he was out there cleaning the windshield for me all the time. Probably.
We did get the chip in the windshield, brand new.
My brand new windshield. Yeah, there's a chip in it. He tried to fix that, and
I think it was a meteorite because there was nobody in front of us.
there was nobody around us. We have no idea where this rock or whatever came from. So that was kind of funny. But I don't know. Otherwise, it was fun to drive through some states that I had never been to before and kind of see, what the terrain is like.
How many states did we go through?
I think it was 17 states that we went through. So, but I'll tell you, there's no better way to see this country than to drive it. There was a lot of things that we saw signs for that we didn't, get off the road to go see or anything like that. But it's a big country. It's very diverse, and in cultures and in in terrain and weather and all that. And so that was kind of part of it. We got to experience a lot of different things. So, and see some cities, and it's interesting to have been someplace. So when they talk about it, on TV or whatever, you kind of can, put yourself there, and you kind of know what they're talking about or where they're talking about. So that's why we like to travel. So I guess with that, we can wrap this up. Any final
Nope.
things to say about it?
One and done out there.
Yeah.
We're not going back out there for another 19-day trip.
Yeah, that's for sure.
She doesn't like to fly, so
I don't like to fly.
We're not going to drive 19 more days.
We won't drive. Maybe someday I'll get my nerve out so we can fly and see some more things out there. But there's some other directions we want to go. So we'd like to go up toward Maine. We'd like to go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. He's never been there.
That's up that state up north.
That state up north, sorry. But anyway, I'm going to put another little video in about my cross stitch project I worked on and the shops that we saw, because that was a destination for me too, was to see a couple of these cross stitch shops and that interest that I have. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy. You'll see my cross stitch project One Nation throughout the vacation pictures. I wanted to stop at some of our landmark places and take pictures of it. And so that was what I was working on. And I was able to finish it. I finished it on July 4th. I put the last stitches in. So this is what it looks like. It's huge. It's probably the biggest project that I've ever stitched. And I started it actually on Leap Day 2024. And originally I was giving myself until Leap Day 2028 to do it. But I decided I wanted to get it done for our 250th this year. So I was able to do that, but it did take a lot of concentration on just working on this project. So I was pretty monogamous with this for a couple of months to get it to the place where I could finish it on July 4th. The cross stitch shops that you'll see in the pictures and everything, Stitcher's Paradise was in Las Vegas, and I'm not sure how long that shop's been around, but I think for a long time. And most of my stitchers that do floss tubes, if they get to Vegas, they talk about stopping in there, and it's a nice shop. Primrose Cottage, this was their inaugural year to have their shop open. In fact, they just passed their 1-year anniversary. Lindsay is the main designer for Primrose Cottage, and I have a lot of her charts in my library. I've stitched a lot of it. There's a lot of them I still want to do. So it was kind of a big deal for me to make it there and see their shop, and it's really nice. It's definitely worth the stop, and quilters would like to go there also because they have a lot of fabric to choose from, and it was just really nice to be able to stop in and see where they record their videos all the time and that kind of thing. Well, they don't record them in the shop, but I saw the building where they do and where they have the online store and all that kind of thing. So anyway, and then we went to Ogden, Utah, where Shepherd's Bush is at. Shepherd's Bush has been around for about 40 plus years, and I kind of call them the mothership of cross stitch. They've probably been around the longest, or definitely one of the longest, and so they also do designing and that kind of thing. So it was really nice to see that in person. Probably one and done. The last time I'll get to go out there and see those places in person, but you know, for my craft, it was a big deal for me to see that. So you'll see pictures of those shops mixed within our vacation pictures, but mostly it's going to be about the landscape and things that we saw. And I hope you enjoy the video. We're in Amarillo, Texas, and we just looked out the window of our hotel, the Hampton Inn, and we're seeing smoke from fires that they've got going on. The wind's blowing like crazy from the south, and the fires were down there, so it doesn't look good out there.
We're at the visitor center for Petrified Forest. The wind is blowing, barely stand up here. Okay, we're on the moon now. We landed on the moon, or Mars. Why is this so blowing so hard? I can't hold the camera hardly.
认真吧，每次上班敬业吧。我们俩。
Old Faithful simmering. It's supposed to go off about 3:18.
That's Old That's Old Faithful.
That's amazing.
It's probably as high as it's going to be.
Yeah. Oh, looks like it's already going down.
We didn't get this.
We'll drive away with our food.
They can't do it.
This is the Grand Teton Mountains. That peak right there is the Grand Teton. It's like 13,300 feet or something. Beautiful. More of the Grand Tetons. This is Jackson Lake. The wind's blowing me around here. Okay, we're sitting here waiting for Old Faithful, and the wind's about to blow my hat off. It's supposed to go at 3:18.
That's Old Faithful. That's Old Faithful. That one is Old Faithful. They're so lucky. That's why they were so
I'm gonna lose my hat.
No, these are gonna turn into cows. So you got Old Faithful.
It's probably as high as it's gonna get. It's got heartburn. There's Ellen. prairie dogs. Oh, there's 3, 4 more of them right here. They're guarding Devil's Tower.
Kimi for short. Kimimila actually means butterfly in our language, and so Kimi, is that your Lakota name as well too? Part of it? Oh, okay. No, so just like we have our English names, we have our spirit names as well too. And Mila's Lakota name is Wa'ak'ui, which means bring sacred woman. So my Toja, which means my niece, I'll have to learn what her Lakota name is as well too. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage our two fancy shell dancers, Kimi and Mila.